This is Danhausen.
One word.
Danhausen.
Danhausen.
And that's Greek?
It is German. And evil.
Okay.
In this video, we are going to figure out who is Danhausen. Red and I watched a few matches and a few promos to get a sense of how he went from Donovan Danhausen to dropping the first name completely and becoming the Danhausen that we all know today. Danhausen is one of the most interesting and unique characters working in independent wrestling today.
Where are your pants?
I forgot them.
Where are they?
Left them at home.
Oh, okay. Go get them.
He says it best himself, very nice, very evil. After watching a range of his career matches, the most interesting part about Danhausen to me is how he was able to start out more or less as himself and add layer upon layer of character development until we got the Danhausen that we love today.
No, this is real. Wash your hands or up yours.
Danhausen made his debut in 2013 as Donovan Danhausen. So he didn't start out immediately with face paint. Instead, he was presented more like your everyday tough guy athlete with demon tattoos. During this period, he formed a hard-hitting, aggressive style with great in-ring performances.
Plucky indie wrestler, you know, like I've got moxie, I've got grit. It's the cookie cutter 2-3 year in wrestler. Very solid wrestler. I like the chain wrestling in the beginning. You could tell they're both very new and they both have been working very hard in their chain wrestling. So it was nice to see. My biggest takeaway is how intense his eyes are. He has a very, like, even without the makeup, he has these dark, brooding eyes. And I found them to be like that. Like, I could see how he's morphed into the spooky character because of his gaze. Like, it just comes out of nowhere and it's this furrowed brow. And I saw it a few times in this match where he looked crazy. He looked absolutely crazy, but that wasn't his character. It just came out when he gave this look.
Despite his great wrestling ability, something didn't really click for me with Donovan Danhausen. These early days to me feel like even he knows that he's still searching for his character. Still, the aggression is great, and his presence as a performer is already there even at this early stage. Because he's got that crazy thing on his chest, there's that, like, mystery to him. How could such a, like, stereotypical clean-cut looking wrestler have that? Like, what's he hiding inside?
Oh, I like that. What's he hiding? What are the tattoos hiding?
Where are they hiding?
They're right over his heart, that black heart. Like you said, with his tattoos, that intense glare that I saw, it's a very natural progression for him to be a supernatural wrestler.
Eventually, he dropped the first name and started putting more emphasis into his character. He put on corpse face paint and released these, like, David Lynch-inspired experimental films that had a lot of macabre, disturbing imagery.
Danhausen's metamorphosis from generic indie to this spooky, cerebral commentary on society, but relating it to wrestling. That's my favorite version of Danhausen. I like crazy characters. I like demented characters. I like when they're taken seriously. I don't necessarily like the crazy comedy, except if it's R-Truth. R-Truth does it perfectly. He's a master at it. He looks frightening. He looks frightening. That menacing smile, the dramatic makeup, the black and white, him eating a cheeseburger is so unnerving and staring at the camera. I loved that. I want to see that guy wrestle. I want to see what he could do. I think that is where the real meat of him is. This weird Joker-esque Nightmare Before Christmas vibe.
It started to become unclear whether he was presenting himself as like a deranged lunatic or a literal demon put into this world. Danhausen fought a heel style with just as much aggression as before, but with a greater willingness to freak people out. This version is more violent in nature, and he was prone to shrieking like an animal. He seemed to enjoy playing mind games with his opponents.
Oh, I appreciate that. I love the idea when people buy into their character so much that they go the mind games route. I appreciate what this is. This one is less thoughtful. It's less smart. And if he were to take this one off and go, there's too many people already occupying that space. There's too many wrestlers I see that are doing the intense, crazy person, not yelling, but like staring. You know, that type of gimmick, the Wyatt families of the world, the Aleister Blacks of the world, the calm evil, the calm crazy. I feel like he could have dove down there, but going the comedy route, going the comedy route really made sense. it took up a space that's not there.
When asked in an interview with Wrestling Inc. about why he wanted to make the change in character, Danhausen stated, "There would be bright spots here and there, but for the most part it was boring. If wrestling is boring and you're not making any money and getting hurt, that's not fun for anybody." He changed his face paint and became a whole buffet of fun ideas, with influences all over the place. I think Danhausen was like just trying to find something to do, and he was like, oh, I could do the tequila dance on the bar. And so they built it like the match around that. And when he does the tequila dance there, he just looks so excited in a way that he doesn't have that same energy in any other version I sent you or I've seen since, where he's just like, once it's like he's doing the moves and he's moving around, and like it's the best version with the song I've ever seen. Like, he's so happy.
I love what he does on the apron. Like, especially without the music, like that, what he does on the apron is so smart. Like, you have the high ground. Why are you going down?
No!
Why would you get off the apron? They have to get back in the ring. So if you're just standing on the apron and you're jumping over them, doing these Mario moves where you're just like step over kick, like you'll maybe jump at them every now and then. Such smart wrestling, and especially for his character. He's a mischief maker. That's what he is. He's a mischief maker. You ever see The Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah.
Remember the 3 trick-or-treaters? Remember that short, round one that had the skeleton mask on?
Yeah.
That is him.
Okay.
That is him, mixed with an Addams Family Uncle Fester. He feels like a demented trick-or-treater. I think that would be my favorite way to describe him.
Besides the tequila dance, he hates swearing.
Yep.
And he carries a jar of teeth with him to the ring.
I love when he puts them in his mouth and then he kicks them and they spit out. That should be his finish. That should 100% be his finish. You put teeth in their mouth, they're all disgusted and disoriented because they got teeth in the mouth, and you super kick, all the teeth go flying, pin them.
One aspect taken away in this version is the aggression. Instead, he switched that out for over-the-top selling and character work. He also changed his body language to make himself appear weaker and more like a cartoon.
Because he went from being a heel to a face. Like, when you're a face, you have to sell, and that's your main job, is to get sympathy. And the makeup, I think the makeup's perfect. It's scary because it's so dark and intense around the eyes, but it's comedic. It's endearing, especially the way he carries it out. Which does garner a lot of sympathy when he's getting beat up.
We do have one problem with this new version.
He has too many gimmicks. It seemed like, for instance, I cannot describe this character. Like, I could describe Warhorse. I could describe Orange Cassidy. I could describe almost any wrestler with a character. I cannot describe him because he's got too much going on. Right now, he's just a mismatch of all these different gimmicks. He feels more like Diamond Dallas Page in '93, where he's like got a cigar and he's got all these rings on and he's carrying women with him. He's got this robe and he just has too many things.
People seem to really love this version of him. He's so unique and strange to the wrestling landscape today. Having said that, we do miss the aggression. I'd love to see him bring that back again. Maybe he can find a way to switch between those two types.
Like this Uncle Fester and Pugsley, like the innocence and like enthusiasm of trying to kill his sister with Pugsley, and then like this demented, I'm gonna blow myself up with dynamite of Uncle Fester, where he's innocent, mischievous, he's toying with them, and then something clicks in him. He's just like, I don't care if I blow us both up.
Yeah.
You're going to, I don't care if I destroy myself now because I don't want you here. And you could still have it in the same realm. Like, I don't think you need to choose. And I think right now he's choosing.
Danhausen recently had a shot with Ring of Honor. He has yet to be signed by them, but they have released a Ring of Hausen shirt with the stipulation that they will consider signing him depending on how the shirt sells. Other than that, nowadays Danhausen's got a Patreon with several shows, including a cooking show called Dining with Danhausen, a review show called Review Hausen, and an interview show called Goodnight Hausen. He's also uploading skits and promos onto Twitter.
Ouch! Too much, you hit Danhausen in the face!
I think all of this is amazing because he's finding a way to work on his character practically every single day. It's what I find most inspiring about Danhausen. If you work on your craft every day and you don't settle for what you think other people will enjoy, then you'll find your voice, you'll find what makes you most unique, and you'll catch on with others. Because of this attitude, I can't wait to see where Danhausen takes the character next.